sometimes. What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Draft Junkies, and we are here. Hard to say, damn, where they at? We are here. Hey, you gotta, you gotta navigate troubled water sometimes. Sometimes you can't always start when you say you're gonna start. You got to, got to make it work and do what you got to do and maneuver. You know about CPT, Horace. You know about CPT. Come on now, come on. Let us live. Let us live. Let us live. But what's good, Chris? Hey, everybody, clap it up, clap it up. Somebody got a big birthday tomorrow. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
Yes, sir.
The dog got his birthday tomorrow. Shout
25.
out to Chris, turning 22 tomorrow. Shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out, shout
Appreciate
out. Hey, no, you can't give that on YouTube. I was gonna say you can give them, but never mind. We'll talk about that another time.
Yes,
so
sir.
This is probably gonna be one of the most broke down episodes because we're talking about a position of really big need for the Baltimore Ravens with Tyler Linderbaum being gone. So we're talking about centers today. And you can see Jake Slaughter on the screen now. Before we get started in it, Jake Slaughter and I forget Logan Jones. They were picked by Mike, but Mike couldn't be with us today. So he sent his video and he sent his notes. But his notes are voiced over by AI. So we're going to let his notes play first. And then we'll come back and kind of say what we got to say about each individual player. So I'm just going to let his Jake Slaughter thing play. Then I'll come back and, read off the little notes and stuff that I got for them. Let me get Jake Slaughter up. All right, Jake Slaughter up. And so here we go. These are Mike's notes with video playing in the background. Again, Jake Slaughter is the center. Now, act right.
And while he's somewhat limited in space, he's effective within structure. He shows the ability to reach and walk.
It's reading like Maya Angelou.
And can handle second-level targets when they're aligned head up or shaded inside. He plays with good strain in one-on-one drive situations, consistently running his feet and showing solid play strength. He's capable of standing up linebackers and driving defensive linemen on angles, helped by strong inside hand placement and active hands overall. Slaughter plays long and competes, but his height shows up at times. He can play a bit high, and bigger nose tackles can stand him up if he's not working an angle. In path protection, he generally anchors well by dropping his hips, though he can struggle at times against power and inside counters. When he doesn't stay square, he's a reliable presence on the interior, staying square on inside zone and not leaving his guards exposed. He also appears to be the primary communicator, making protection calls and identifying threats. While he flashes solid grip strength and competitiveness, he can end up on the ground more than you'd like, often due to getting his feet tangled rather than a lack of toughness or athletic ability.
All right, that's it. That's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and read off what I got for you for Jake Slaughter. Center from Florida, 6'5", 303, has played all 5 years at Florida. I'll give you the info on the last 3 because that's when he really started playing. In 2023, 574 snaps, 81 offensive grade, 78 pass block, 79 run block. 2024, 800 snaps, 80.1 offensive grade, 84.2 pass block grade, 80.2 run block grade. And then in 2025, which was last year, 748 snaps, 79.3 offensive grade, 84 pass block grade, 80 run block grade. He had 1 sack allowed, 1 hurry allowed, 1 QB hit allowed, which is a total of 3 pressures allowed according to PFF. As far as the film, what did you see on film with Jake Slaughter, Chris?
Yeah, I like Jake Slaughter. 2-time captain, so we always got to mention that because we know the Ravens love the captains. 2-time captain. I thought he fired off the ball incredibly quick. Anytime he snapped the ball, he was going straight to his assignment, whether he was kicking out in space, whether he was helping out on a double team. He was always quick out of his stance, and I love that. I think he plays technically sound, typically under control for the most part. I do agree with Mike's notes that he does tend to get a little bit high as the rep goes on. He'll lose that leverage. I think he's a really good athlete in space, but he gets in trouble kind of like when he needs to redirect and having to change direction against quicker defenders. So out in space, phenomenal athlete. But the tight quarters, quick twitch movements, those are kind of lacking just a little bit. It's not like he's a pile of shit just trying to move his feet. Like he still has some athleticism there, but it's not as good as some of the other guys that we'll see in this class. He isn't going to blow defenders off of the ball, but he will get to his landmarks and wall off defenders. That's what he does. He understands angles, he understands leverage, and he's not just going to be one of those guys that throws players out of the club. He's not a Ryan Jensen type, but he will understand the assignment and he will do what's asked of him, which is creating creases and holes when like just trying to wall off defenders rather than actual physical dominance.
All right, and what I got for him is as far as the strengths, pass protection anchor is outstanding, with serious core strength and a clean hip sink against power. So he does a good job kind of negating bull rushes from time for the most part. There are times that he loses, but for the most part, does a good job of negating bull rushes. He processes the game quickly, identifying stunts pre-snap and adjusting protections without hesitation, and that kind of go in line with what Mike said. He's the primary guy making all the calls up there. Generates a real push in the run game when he catches defenders with clean hands inside. Now, his hand placement ain't the greatest all the time, but when he gets it right and gets the proper body lean, he will move some people. The part I like about him is he don't mind finishing blocks. He's one of the guys that will play to the echo of the whistle. I can't say that about a lot of the Florida guys. Like a lot of your Florida guys, they was kind of soft, but I will say Slaughter kind of, he was the exception to the rule over there. He pulls cleaner than expected for a 305-pounder, staying balanced through his targets. So a lot of times when he pull and the big guys get out there and they can see skilled guys and miss, he don't miss too much. He don't miss, especially if he see you. Weaknesses, leans on his hands against quick counters instead of chopping his feet to stay square. So he'll lean forward instead of just pounding and waiting for you to attack, because it's like he's so aggressive that he want to go get you. And then those quicker guys can kind of get around him. He lets defenders disengage late in the play, and they'll fall back in on either on the tackle or get sacks. So he'll start off good, and instead of just blocking until you hit a whistle blow, he'll kind of, okay, I did my 4 seconds, and let's see what's going on. And the play may still be going on, especially when you got a quarterback like Lagway that's going to move around. Struggles reaching 3 techniques on stretch plays, which will be one of the things that will kind of hamper him with us. But other than that, that's what I got on Jake Slaughter. Not a bad prospect. Somebody that I can see. Actually, somebody that Ryan Mink mentioned on the Ravens website today, because they did a little article about centers. And so they mentioned 4 names, and he was one of the names that they mentioned. Now, matter of fact, they might have mentioned everybody that we talked about today, I think. Because we already talked about Hecht, so Hecht was already on there. But they mentioned Hecht as well. But that is Jake Slaughter from Florida, 6'5", 303. Any closing thoughts about Jake?
Yeah, I thought he was nice. Like, I thought he was a nice, well-rounded center. Like, I don't think he's going to be a guy who's going to be all pro or Pro Bowl type of guy. But I think down the line, like, he's going to be a solid starter for a team. I think he'll be a nice like mid-round get for any club.
Gotcha. All right, so we're going back to the creepy voice one more time for our next guy. Make sure I turn the volume on. It is Logan Jones, and you see his measurements on the screen. He actually did stuff at the combine. One of the few people. He got 175 split, a 4.9 40, broad jump 9.2, and vertical 32 feet. Hey, Chris, one of my players had their pro day at South Florida today. Joker ran a 4.3.
Damn.
He played DB and a little bit of receiver for us before because he went to Tennessee out of high school. They wasn't playing him right. He did his last 2 years at UCF. and he posted on Instagram his numbers from his pro day for a 4.3. He always been fast. He was a track guy too.
Damn, good for
Logan
him.
Jones brings adequate size for the center position and shows the kind of functional mobility you look for on the interior. He's not the type of athlete that jumps off the tape, but he consistently does his job and moves well enough to be effective in multiple situations. He plays with the clear finisher's mentality, which is exactly what you expect from an Iowa offensive lineman. There's a physical, competitive edge to his game that shows up snap after snap. In the screen game, he's able to get out in space, but he can have some difficulty adjusting to moving targets once he's on the move. That lack of fluidity shows up when he's forced to redirect against defenders in space. In the run game, his landmarks can be a bit inconsistent. At times he'll overrun his assignment or come up just short, which affects his ability to consistently sustain blocks at the point of attack. From a processing standpoint, he can be a little slow recognizing defensive games and stunts, which can create pressure opportunities up the middle. That said, he shows strong awareness and discipline on combo blocks. He's patient working with his guard and doesn't leave his teammate exposed by climbing to the second level too early. Overall, his hand usage and placement stand out as a strength, helping him control defenders and stay engaged throughout the representative.
Mike probably put rep and they representative. But let me pause. There we go. So Logan Jones, and based off of Mike's notes, I think we see Logan a little bit different. Let me do this first. All 5 years at Iowa. And again, I'll do the last 3 kind of like I did with Slaughter. 2023, 591 snaps, a 65 offensive grade, 50 pass block grade, 68 run block grade. 2024, 666 snaps, 83 offensive grade, 77 pass block, 82.3 run block. And then last year, 766 snaps, 79 offensive grade, 90.7 pass block grade, and a 73 run block grade. 1 sack allowed, 2 hurries allowed, no quarterback hits allowed. So just like Slaughter, 3 total pressures according to PFF. And I'll let you go with Logan.
Yeah, he was a clear athlete, ran track in high school, played basketball, also won a state title in shot put and discus. So this dude, he's an athlete, and it's clear. You watch the tape and you can see he can move around a bit. Obviously, undersized center. Mm-hmm. He's a converted defensive tackle, only been playing center since 2022 or 2023. One of those. I forget.
I think it's 2022.
2022. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So relatively new to the position when you think about the guys who, been lifers when it comes to the offensive line. But he's a feisty little fella. He's small, but he gets after it. He plays with a mean streak, has a finisher's mentality. He's going to play to the echo or the whistle, and that's something that you love to see. And they talk about the Napoleon complex, and he got it. Like he wants to. He's like Scrappy Doo. Where Scrappy Doo, he wants to be the one leading you to the fight, and that's what Logan Jones is. But I think it's a big man's game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, they're just gonna get bigger, they're just gonna get stronger, they're just gonna get faster. So you kind of see on a college level, the hands are lacking some strength, causing him some difficulty to sustain blocks. He'll get overwhelmed by bigger nose tackles when left on one-on-one situations. So it makes you wonder, are there too many physical limitations with him? Because he's a 6-year senior, so there isn't much room to grow on this frame. He has super short arms, very light. It might be a lot going against him, but in a right system, I think just look at how teams are weaponizing these smaller centers. When you look at Miami, their center, he came out of nowhere. Yep. And he's one of the best, if not the best centers right now. And, there's a place for these kind of guys in the NFL that there wasn't 10 years ago. So you get them with the right offensive coordinator in the right system, and, they can use his skill set to really weaponize what he can do and get a run game going, get a pass game going. And, but he just, like with everything else, it has to be the right fit, because he's not going to be for everybody.
And I watched him twice, because when I first watched him, and kind of without taking notes, was just watching it, let the TV run. I saw pretty much a lot of the strengths and weaknesses of Tyler Linderbaum. Like he's good with zone stuff, but if you get like a heavy-handed nose tackle, they would kind of blow him up. But he would still be feisty in there fighting with him, even though he may not win the rep, but he wasn't quitting on the rep either. So I saw a lot of Tyler Linderbaum in him. And I kind of made some comments about that on Twitter. But going back and just going back and forth and watching it, his pass pro really, really stood out. Like he's a way better pass protector than run blocker. And in my mind, I'm thinking if you can get him beside two good guards, he can have a place in the NFL. But if the guard play sucks beside him, he gonna suck right with it. Because go ahead.
My bad. And I think you can see the two ends of the spectrum. So with the Eagles and Jason Kelce, the Eagles protected Jason Kelce every year of his career.
Yep.
You look at the Ravens and Tyler Linderbaum, they did not protect him with two good guards beside him. So you can see how it goes with two opposite ends of the spectrum when you don't have those two guards to kind of I don't want to say protect, but help out or like pick up the slack for the lack of mass that the center has.
Right. Because most of the time the center is going to get helps one way or another. It's rare that centers are left alone unless the defensive line go with a 50 front, kind of like the Steelers do. The Steelers do a lot. So he'll have help. And if he can, I think he'll be a great pass protector in the NFL. I think that his problem going to be with if he go to a team that's not zone centric. If a not zone centric team pick him, their GM needs to be fired because that's what he is. And he's our offensive lineman, so he's gonna be good. He's gonna get better. The only, and I got some more notes, but I ain't gonna worry about right now. The only thing right now is, like you said, a 6-year senior. He can be 25 during the season. So I don't know, like you said, I don't know how much more growth or how much more better he's going to get. But and if you want him to be right now, I don't know if he ready for right now. Because I don't know how much better he's going to get on you being 25 already. And there are exceptions to every rule. He could get in there and learn the nuance of the game and figure it out and be good for that first rookie contract and help us out or help whoever out. But, the only good thing about that pedigree is he come from Iowa and they know how to run damn football over there, which is a good thing. And then he got something a little more because he's a better pass blocker than he is a run blocker. 50 career starts, Chris. 50.
That's a lot.
And a team captain.
On a Van Wilder plane.
And a team captain. That's the good part of it. But he's 25. Right. He kind of like what Martin told him when it came about his daughter. Man, it looks better. But that's Logan Jones. And so I wouldn't be mad at it depending on when he was picked. But just know that he's probably going to be a rookie deal, and that's probably going to be it because he'll be 30 or 29, with trying to get a second contract. So, but you never know. But I do like his pass rush ability. Let's go to our pass pro. I'm sorry, my bad. Appreciate it. Go to our next guy, which is Chris's guy. This is Trey Zuhn, and the notes, the stats I have for Trey are, where's my mouse? So all 5 years at Texas A&M as far as playing, 2023, 892 snaps, 75 offensive grade, 77 pass block, with a 70.1 run block grade. 2024, 882 snaps, 75 offensive grade, 80.8 pass block grade, and a 68 run block grade. And then in 2025, 766 snaps, 72.7 offensive grade, 96.8 pass block grade, and a 59.7 run block grade. 2 sacks allowed, 9 hurries allowed, 1 QB hit. That's a total of 12 pressures according to PFF. And right before you start, Chris and Mike kind of picked more of the, I would say, the more known or the more sought after prospects. I went off the beaten path and got some guys that we may end up getting with some of them 5th round picks or a 6th round pick. So the guys that I threw out that you may or may not even know. But Trey Zuhn. Go ahead, Chris.
So he was the Texas A&M left tackle, and he's someone that's been on my radar for the last couple of years because we know how Ronnie's health has been. But watching Trey Zuhn, you quickly realize that he's not going to be a left tackle in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have the desired arm length to be a left tackle, but kind of a blessing in disguise for the Ravens and for other teams that want to move him inside is he played a bunch of snaps at center due to injury this year for Texas A&M.
I might did put the wrong thing up here. Hold on. Is that Bama? That is Bama. Did I put the wrong one? Hold on, I might put the wrong one.
Oh yeah, that's Parker.
My bad. Let me flip it then. I apologize. I put it in the wrong spot. Appreciate y'all for picking it up.
Oh, you want to go Parker?
So what I'll do is I can switch it real quick. I got your DM. Hold on. I got it. Hold on. We can fix this ASAP. I'm gonna turn my back to y'all for a minute.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna keep talking about him. So he's been A&M starting left tackle since his redshirt freshman season. So he's been a mainstay there. One of the team captains, ding ding, because that's what the Ravens like, team captains. Obviously, a guy who plays under control, has good patience, rarely gets overzealous with strikes and able to keep good balance. I think he shows adequate athleticism coming out of his stance and being able to redirect his weight when he has to. Smooth, nimble footwork. When he has to hit his landmarks, he's always keeping a strong base. I think he does lack sand in his pants when it comes against power rushers, but that was on the edge. I think on the inside, when he doesn't really have to worry about having all of that space and having to deal with those faster edge rushers, I think you saw a more controlled player when he was playing center, because when you're in those tight quarters, they don't have the whole side of the field to come and hit a spin move on you or something like that, or use some type of speed rush on you. And on the inside, he kind of knows where they're going to be. Like, they have to pretty much come to him, and he's able to kind of stay more controlled, more balanced, keep his composure a little bit better. And I think that's where he can flourish, because at tackle, you saw him kind of get a little bit overwhelmed sometimes when it came to those speed rushes. So I think this is a guy who, I don't think it's a projection, because we've seen him do it at the highest level in college when we talk about moving to center play. So this isn't a projection. It's something that we've seen before against good competition. So he's definitely one of my favorites. He's a bigger guy. He's not a small. Yeah, he's 6'6", and we've seen players like that make that conversion. When you think about a player like Ethan Pochik, who same size, 6'6" center. It'll be somebody's cup of tea, not everybody's cup of tea, but I think this is a guy who I think he'll be a fun little ad for a team that's looking for a center.
And what I got for him as far as on tape, prototypical NFL frame, 6'6", 310, 312 is somewhere in there. Impressive straight line speed for a big man. He had a pretty decent 40 time that's not on there. I think he did at the pro day. I don't know why I didn't put it on there for whatever reason. Possesses a wide kick slide, and some of the notes I got is for him at tackle, but I'm kind of projecting him at center. And his kick slide is, even though it's decent at tackle, it'll be better at center because he don't have as much space. Well, the defender don't have as much space to work with. So I think that's just going to help him out in pass pro. And obviously you can see it by his pass pro numbers at last year, 96.8. Good knee bend, good hip flexibility, good athlete to be 6'6". Bends very well with guys trying to get low and give him that ghost move. So he does a good job of getting hands on him doing that. He has Mauler mentality. I would like to see it be an every down thing, but not so much to the point where it causes penalties. But he has that I'm gonna finish you mentality. I want to lay on you. I want to rub my nuts across your face mentality. He got that, and you want that on the offensive lineman, because those guys, they'll intimidate jokers and have jokers backing up out of there by the second half. Weaknesses, still developing consistency with his punch. His hand placement can be erratic at times. struggles with matching speed to power. Guys that are pretty quick, he tries to quick set them, and then they get him with the power because he's trying to get to a landmark so fast. But that's the only real like move I've seen giving problems. And then he get over aggressive sometime in pass pro because he know he's really good in pass pro. Sometimes he'll lunge forward and a little ghost move or a little dip and rip or something or get past him, but it's not, it don't happen a lot. And so with Trey, I think somebody's gonna get a really good center, and with the potential to play all 5 positions. Honestly, at least I think that. You think that he can play all 5?
I mean, yeah, you see players who have less tools be able to do that. When you look at a Patrick McCarry or somebody like that, or a Jamari Sallier, players like that who I think are physically, I think they're lesser athletes than he is and have less skill than he does. So I can see him easily pulling that off.
Gotcha. And that's Trey Zuhn, good people from Texas A&M. Again, that film was Alabama at first, but that's on me, and we got it fixed. So we're gonna go to the guy who I recently just showed you a little picture of. How you say his last name? Brailsford. Parker Brailsford. 2023 was at Washington. I want to say he was on the team with Roger Rosengarten. 976 snaps, 80 offensive grade, 78.4 pass block grade, 80.7 run block grade. So I'm gonna say, and I'm almost sure I'm right, but he was the center on the national championship contending team with Mike Penix and Roger Rosengarten and all those other people. Well, obviously after that, their coach got the job at Alabama, and he went to Alabama. So 2024, he had 775 snaps, 67.7 offensive grade, 82.1 pass block grade, 61 run block grade. And then last year at Alabama, 905 snaps, 66.8 offensive grade, 75 pass block, 60 run block, 1 sack allowed, 11 hurries allowed, 3 quarterback hits allowed. That is 15 pressures according to PFF. And I'll let you start with Parker, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a long road for him, and he's had success everywhere that he's been. When, like you said, he started off at Washington, he earned freshman All-American honors there as a redshirt freshman. Started at center for them. Then, obviously, like you said, followed Kalen DeBeer to Alabama in 2024. Going on to start 27 games for the Crimson Tide, and you pop on the tape and you just see an incredible athlete. We talked about Logan Jones, and to me, he might be a better athlete than Logan Jones was. And Logan Jones is an incredible athlete. Right. I think he does a fantastic job getting to his landmarks and using his natural leverage against defenders. You see him, he's a guy, he leverages his friend, and he knows that. And he will stay low throughout a rep, and he will make sure he is under a defender's pads every single rep. Kind of doesn't have a choice because he's so damn little. Just like Logan Jones. It's crazy how similar the games are when you look at them, like physically and the dimensions and how they're both
natural leverage.
Yeah, and
never leveraged. Yeah,
although he's undersized too, he makes up for it with tenacity and the athleticism that he has, because you will see him fight and fight and fight and fight. And just like we spoke with Logan Jones, for as much intensity and as much athletic ability that he has, there are clear deficiencies with his size and mass. There are things where no matter how much you fight, no matter how tough you are, it's just physics.
Right.
There are just some things you can't make up for. And again, just like we spoke about with Logan Jones, he's going to be a player that you're going to have 2 good guards next to him in order to really elevate and really accentuate what he can do. Because, like I said, we've seen players this build be able to have success in the NFL, but it has to be with that right landing spot. And he's one of my favorites out of all of these little dudes, little centers. He's my favorite. I like him the most, but it's gonna come down to fit, because it's not going to work if there's a team that's just like, you know, we're not going to weaponize this. We're not going to use his athleticism. And unfortunately, it sounds simple, but we see it in the NFL year after year where they draft guys and they don't know how to use them. So I'm hoping for him he gets into the right spot that can, you know, really use his skills and maximize them.
He the way when you started talking about it, the first bullet on my notes is athleticism and lateral agility. And it's crazy that we've been doing this for 2 years and we still kind of see the same things over and over.
Yep.
But I got lateral athleticism and lateral ability. His short area quickness is pretty darn good. But again, is the frame. At some point, he's gonna get isolated and he's gonna have to win with leverage or win with fighting, but he's just gonna be out leveraged because he just don't have enough bricks in his pocket. I can see him getting up to maybe 310 and keeping that athleticism, but not much more than that. And that's still kind of small in the NFL. But
yeah,
there are ways to combat that. Go ahead.
And he's a redshirt junior, so he's not as old as Logan Jones, but he's also not a true junior either. So.
Right. What's that? 03. So what's this? 26. So that puts him he'll be 23 during the season. He's 22 now. He'll be 23 during the season. So that ain't bad as compared to Logan, who will be 25 during the season. That's 3 whole contract years. That's a big difference. Big difference. Next one I got is football IQ. Football IQ is off the chain. He done seen a lot in those 3 years of playing. Even though it's technically 4 years, but 3 years on the field. He's seen a lot. Went to the national championship as a freshman, redshirt freshman. Went through the ups and downs of SEC football his first year because, you know, coming in after Saban, they was on everybody's head. And then he got a little better this year, but still, it's when you play with Bama, you get everybody best. But he done seen it all, done it all, and that's his experience would be a good benefactor for him going forward in his draft process because you play SEC, and I know every other conference is starting to catch up a little bit, but still, the SEC still the SEC. You got big hog maulers down there that you got to fight every week. Even Vanderbilt, then got better, LSU, Arkansas, better, all the teams that used to be the sucky SEC teams, they didn't got better. They just got closer to the top, while everybody else got close to the top as well. Pass pro is really good as well, and that athleticism helps him with that. So I can see, you know, him not being bull rushed as much because he does a good job of dropping his ankle. And the good thing about his frame is a lot of his mass, the limit that he has is thighs and butt. So he does a good job of stopping the bull rush when he gets sometimes. The concern is that size, and that's the only real negative I got about him. Being 6'2", not even 300, 290. That's little. It ain't little as North Carolina center last year, but that's little.
Well, Willie Lampkin.
Yeah, and he's still in the league. He with the Eagles. He with the Eagles. So that's what I got for Parker Brailsford, center from Alabama, and those are 4 guys that will probably go day 1, day 2, maybe early day 3.
Day 1, no, not day 1.
Well, I meant early in the draft. I apologize. Matter of fact, none of these guys probably going day 1. But the only one that might have a chance, and I don't think that's a chance, is the first guy, Slaughter. But I still don't think he day 1. But centers normally don't go like that. That's why everybody's saying draft the center first. The only way you draft the center first is you drafting a guard or something and moving him to center. But we'll see. I want my center to be a center. But just me personally. All right, next up, we went to the land of unknowns. And where's my video? See, I'm tripping. I gotta put my Jordan White video back up here. Hold on, give me a second. Cut. Cut. Oh, I know where it's at.
You got it. We doing Jordan White.
Hold on, I got it. Hold on. I might have to just play it from my computer. There we go. Let me take this down. Let me remove these people. Remove, and then add mine. Add share screen. Entire screen. Share. There we go. All right. Slideshow from current slide. All right. Get this out the way. Leave my notes. Where my notes at? There we go. That's Parker. I'm just all discombobulated today, boy.
It's your birthday or my birthday?
Right. It acts like it's my birthday, don't it? There we go. Now we can roll. Now we can roll. I know what happened because I had this synced. So I synced it to my desktop on my laptop and my desktop. And I didn't sync it before we started. That's what it is. So that's why mine ain't up there. Because I did yours at work and I didn't sync mine. Let's go with Jordan White. So reason being I picked Jordan White, and I think I might have said this on the other channel. That name stood out to me just because I had a cousin by the same name. So I wanted to see what it was. Now, obviously my cousin's not with us anymore to do some nonsense in Reno, Nevada. But that's why I picked this name. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised I picked it because I found a player that I really, really, really like. Jordan White. He's well-traveled. Started at West Virginia in 2020. In 2021 and 2022, he was at West Virginia. After that, transferred to Liberty. At Liberty, 2023, 945 snaps, 73.1 offensive grade, 62.6 pass block grade, 74 run block grade. Again with Liberty in 2024, 781 snaps, 84.9 offensive grade, 73.8 pass block grade, and 87.6 run block grade. Then transferred again to Vanderbilt. Helped them go on the lit run this year. Tried to almost got in the playoffs. Gave up two sacks, had 17 hurries, and 2 QB hits. Plus a total of 21 pressures. For a guy that may not even be drafted, I really liked what I saw on tape for him. Durability. Like, that's a lot of snaps. 42, 138, 148, and then once he became the starter, 945, 781, 745. Didn't miss snaps once he became a starter at Liberty or Vanderbilt. Role graded in the run game. They ran a lot of power type stuff, not a lot of zone stuff, and he was moving cats, like getting up out of there. And again, he ain't too much bigger than some of the other guys we talked about, 6'2", 293. So they ain't much bigger than just our last guy. But when I tell you, when he get his hands on folks, he does a good job of power cleaning them and getting them up out of there. A lot of these nice runs that you see from Vanderbilt on here, they coming straight down the A-gap. And guess who's in the A-gap? Jordan White. So I was real impressed with what he did. The weaknesses, undersized, and we'll talk about that. Sometimes get too aggressive, and he will have some holding. So, that happens, but that comes from, being undersized and trying to fight and make sure you don't either give up a pressure or lose your leverage and stuff like that. So I can deal with effort penalties. It's the pre-snap stuff that drive folks crazy. And then he got limited counters in his toolbox. So if you hit him with some good pass rush moves, you probably will get him. But I was really impressed with his tape. And keep in mind, I'm saying this based off a guy that's probably going to be day 3, if not drafted at all. What you got, Chris?
Yeah, like you said, well-traveled. But everywhere he's gone, he's been the leader of the O-line room and a team captain. So that's something that you definitely want out of your center. You want somebody who's going to be able to lead that room and be somebody that can be the team leader of that O-line room. And you can see it on the field. You could easily see it when you pop in the tape. You can see he's a good communicator. Always trying to help diagnose pressure pre-snap, trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page. You can see that, and that's something that we spoke about with Malachi Starks last year. Is those guys who are always yapping on the field, and he was one of those guys who was always communicating, always, and that's exactly what you want to see from your center. I thought he was a smooth and easy mover in space. You can see him climbing. You can see him. He'll help out on a double team and immediately disengage and get up to the second level, and he does it seamlessly. And that's what you want to see. If you're going to be this little, you better be a good mover. Right. And you can see that because he tested well at his pro day. You know, he ran a 4.03 in the 40, put up 27 on the bench. But for as good as a mover as he is, as good as he is, as far as the intangibles are when it comes to being a leader and an effective communicator with his teammates, I thought the play strength was well below average. I didn't think he generated a lot of force. I didn't think he generated a lot of push when he made contact. There were times where he would like kind of give like a forearm shiver on a double team, and that forearm shiver didn't do anything. Like it didn't even move somebody. So, you know, the strength profile is lacking, and that, I mean, that is what you expect from somebody who is this size. But there are some good tools, good physical tools, and good athleticism to work with, which seems like a common theme with a lot of these guys that we're talking about. You know, undersized, good athletes, tenacious. Now it's, can somebody cultivate that into, you know, molding a good NFL center?
Right. His play in space on the second level really impressed me. Like, linebackers didn't just out athlete him in space, like talking about. He did a good job, like in that rep right there, just understanding where the leverage is and getting that butt turn to give the back holes to run through. His football IQ was pretty good, but that comes with reps, and shit, he got a shit ton of them. At 3 different schools. Again, started at West Virginia, didn't play much there, played a little bit. Starting at Liberty, and then the transfer to Vanderbilt right here. And again, I'll say SEC. If you start in the SEC, you're gonna see really good competition. If you start in the Big Ten, you're gonna see, for the most part, really good competition, unless you own Ohio State or Michigan. And you know, other schools, not saying it's good competition, they're like the Big 12 or whatever, but those 2 conferences in the trenches, you're gonna see some really good play. And for you to be a starter and to go in, and his team was winning too, so he had to be out there to do it. So I see a day 3 steal for somebody in Jordan White. Would you say the same?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, and then last but not least, let's see if this thing still gonna act right.
Or maybe least.
Maybe. You're right. All right. James Brockermeyer from the U. From the U. Talking about that name?
No, yeah.
People outside. Oh, yeah. Hey, I just realized today when I was putting this up there, all 5 of their offensive linemen going to be gone. They got to replace the entire offensive line in Miami.
5? Who's the 5th one?
The 2 tackles and the 2. Well, no, one of the guards may still be there. I apologize. 4 of them, definitely. One of the guards.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a lot.
Yeah, that's still a lot. So James, let me get James's stuff up. Here it is. Open sesame. All right. James Brockermeyer, long lane. So another well-traveled individual. Started at Alabama in 2022. Only had 9 snaps. 2023 at Alabama had 28 snaps. Transferred to TCU, and that's where he started to play at. Had 812 snaps at TCU in 2024 with 72.2 offensive grade, an 81.1 pass block grade, and a 67.7 run block grade. And then last year transferred to Miami, which was probably one of the best decisions of his life. 1,033 snaps. 74.6 offensive grade, 86.4 pass block grade, and a 68.8 run block grade. 1 sack allowed, 17 hurries allowed, and 3 quarterback hits. So that's a total of 21 pressures. And that ain't bad for an interior guy. Not bad at all. But as far as strengths and weaknesses for him, and just on this play right here, you can see the ability to get out in space and run. Any centers that can pull, that's going to be a plus for you. The more you can do up front, better, because you know you may not have guards with the athletic ability to do it. You can just say, let's switch the assignments and go let the center pull, and you see that on some of these plays. But fundamentally sound, he used good blocking angles, uses body positioning to take advantage, discipline awareness, and good intelligence. He'll have a chance to play another position in the NFL because of his size, but I think he should stick to center. I do. He maybe can play some guard, but I think he should stick to center. And only play guard if, like, somebody on the team is hurt and he needs to move over there. He gets off the ball quick. The thing about him is he was helped by what we said some of these other guys need. Good guard play. Right. The two guys beside him was damn good. And so he was helped by that. He shows good awareness after the snap and positioning. So he does a good job of getting on second level, whether it's like inside zone stuff or pulling like we saw earlier. Weaknesses, stronger pass rushers like those zero noses will give him problems and kind of throw him out the club. I think he plays from A gap to A gap. That's why I don't think he should play guard. I think he needs to work in this phone booth and get his hands on you and use his technique. But if you get him in space, he ain't the greatest, but he can get out in space and run and kind of intimidate DBs. But in space versus linebackers, it may be a different story. And then he tries to push pass blockers past the quarterback. But in NFL, they're gonna either go straight through you and you got to lose slow, or you got to stop that bull rush. And that's why, like, when I would look at pass pro for these college guys, one of the main things I look at, and even one of the ones I put on tape for these guys, is bull rush. Because that at center, that's what you're going to get. A lot of them guys ain't going to be Aaron Donald and some of these, nuanced pass rushers. They're going to be like, I'm strong, and I'm going to see if you can stop me from going straight through you. But with James, what did you see out of James?
Similar to a lot of these other guys, undersized. They're kind of like the same build almost. It's like a cookie cutter almost, as far as the height and the weight. But with him, obviously I saw somebody who, he's capable mover. He can climb up to the second level if you need him to. I don't think that's his strong suit. Like, I don't think he's on the level of a Logan Jones or Parker Brailsford as far as being able to pull and get out in space. He looks smooth getting there, but then the part about actually blocking somebody, it gets a little clunky.
That's why I say it scare people when he come around.
Right, yeah. I thought his hand placement was good. I thought he had good hands. But there are times throughout the rep where he kind of loses it and they kind of just and they just end up on the outside of the shoulders. And you don't see that grip strength. Like somebody that we spoke about, I think in the first video, Francis Mawinoa, where once he gets his hands on you, they're like vice grips. They're not letting you go. With James, he'll have a good initial punch, but then just throughout the rep, it turns into a bear hug. I think there's a clear lack of strength on his profile. Just the lack of mass. I think he's just, the other guys that we spoke about, the other undersized guys, Logan Jones and Parker Brailsford, they have obvious deficiencies when it comes to just size and length. But I think James Brockermeyer, I think he's probably the worst out of them when it comes to being able to hold up against one-on-one situations. And those guys weren't that great at it either. But I think he's just the worst. I think he isn't as strong as them. He isn't as balanced or coordinated as they are. I think with him, it's more of like a frantic pace where he kind of knows that he has that deficiency, and you see that franticness in his feet and in his play style, where as Jake Slaughter, who I mentioned earlier, who was the first guy we spoke about, you see that calmness in his game. You see that balance in his game. And with James, you don't really see that. You kind of see a franticness with him. So
every rep's a fight.
Right, and it's going to be a battle. And he was one of the guys that I watched, and I was just like, as far as the fit with the Ravens, I was like, I don't know about that. I like James White more than I like him, and so but he does have that pedigree, and we know that matters when it comes to the NFL. They love pedigree, they love bloodlines, they love all of that stuff. So I could easily see him being a 5th, 6th rounder because of that.
And that 1,000 reps matters.
Yeah.
That 1,000. And if you're wondering how did a college player get 1,000 reps, they played 16 games because they went to the national championship. So anytime you hear reps, Ohio State people and Miami people gonna have probably the most reps out of anybody, throughout the year, because they played extra 4 or 5 games versus somebody that either went to a bowl and didn't play or didn't make a bowl at all. So that's why they got so many more reps than everybody else. And the thing is with Miami, all those reps were versus quality teams.
Right.
So with him, with Bain, with all them guys, they just got better NFL tape because you played Ole Miss, you played Ohio State, you played Indiana, and you played Texas A&M. 4 really good teams. So just off those, the playoff run alone is getting a lot of these Miami guys, looks because of how well they did. And even though they lost the championship game, they was in that game. It wasn't a total wipeout. So that's why they get looks like that.
Think about if Miami didn't go to the playoffs, how the talk would be about Ruben Bain.
Right.
Because Bain had like one of the almost all-time playoff runs when it comes to college football. And he just went crazy. Now, without that, you take that away, and it's like, what is the conversation like about Ruben Bain if you take away that playoff run?
Agreed. That we would have heard more short arm jokes, more short arm things. And honestly, without that playoff run, we might would have had a chance to get them. We might have had a chance to get. Did you see the picture he posted today with that band?
Yeah,
oh,
that's crazy.
And then somebody said this just a picture. This don't Michael Parsons. This don't translate to real football.
That's what he said.
Yeah, and then Garnett West posted a picture of what's the defensive end the Bills had last year? Von Miller. He posted a picture of Von Miller in an actual rep in the game with a similar bend to Ruben Bain, and we just laughed at it because you can't teach that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say a prayer and hope that he can make it to 14, start saying them now. But I think it's a snowball's chance in hell that he'll be there at 14.
Let me get your opinion on this, and we'll get up out of here. So it's been a big debate, and they've been debating it on the side. I see y'all over there about Zay. So and I was of the JSN got paid, obviously. I was of the norm that like the price went up for Zay, but not JSN money Zay. So me and Nitro was talking Monday about it, and he was like, "Well, pull up JSN stats and Zay stats," and they weren't far off. And so in my mind, I was thinking, if Zay go to the table with just this screenshot of my stats versus JSN stats, he got a good, case to get a nice little chunk of change. And so the 27 we complain about now might be a steal. What you think about that?
He's a good player. Like, pay your good players. Pay them early.
Yeah.
So you're not standing there, with your thumb in your ass, just looking like an idiot, because that's what they look like with the Tyler Linderbaum situation, where it's like, oh,
so never even got to this.
We want to reset the market for centers, and then the Raiders are like, yeah, watch what we fucking want to do. Don't let it get to that. Look at what they did with Kyle Hamilton. Look at what they did with. I'm gonna just leave it at Kyle Hamilton because they got that contract done early, and they gave him record-setting numbers.
Sure did.
It's like if you wait, the longer you wait, the higher that price is going to be, no matter how you slice it. I'm paying them early, so hopefully they could get it done and stop playing games, and don't let it get to Tyler Linderbaum situation where you got a team like the Raiders jumping out the window and paying them all that money.
I don't think we can afford to lose. And I did a video today saying if is he a number one like outside of Baltimore, and basically I went through every team and said if Zay would be number one on that team, and it's 32 teams. I think I came up with maybe in the video I did, I think 21. Somebody put in the chat, but I had forgot about DJ Moore going to Buffalo, so I forgot about that, and I have also forgot about Mike Williams going to San Francisco. So realistically, it's probably like 18, 19 teams that I thought he would have been wide receiver 1 on. But there were 3 teams that he'd be wide receiver 3. Eagles, Cowboys, what was the other one? Eagles, Cowboys, and who else?
Bengals. Yeah,
Eagles, Cowboys, and Bengals. So I think 32, 33, 30, get that man his money. And let's not even worry about this for the next 3-4 years. Because we can't have what happened to Linderbaum happen to our wide receiver core. Can't. Because you see what we're doing now, struggling to try to fill 3 positions, and we got guys off the street trying to be centers. We done signed 3 centers just for them to compete, and I still don't think I'm going to be good enough.
Right, exactly. But that's status quo with what they've been doing for the last few years. So,
agree. Jay say he'd be wide receiver 3 on the Panthers as well. Jay, that's a bold-faced lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Like when I got to the Panthers, I debated him versus Ted. Him and I gave Zay the nod, even though I gave real serious consideration to Ted. But I gave Zay the nod just off of, consistency. And that Ted had 1 season, but Ted pretty damn good. I ain't expect him to be this good, but he pretty good. Pretty good. Any closing thoughts on this center class before we get up out of
here? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the center class, to be honest. I think there's some useful players. I think there's some, fairly decent players, but it's not a class that I get super duper excited about. I mean, look at the players that we spoke about, and it was like, yeah, but they need 2 guards next to them. There aren't like transcendent guys, and I know you're not gonna have that in every draft when it comes to center class, but a lot of these guys are undersized, whether it's weight, whether it's arm length, strength profile. There aren't guys who are like, man, that's a physically impressive dude that we can turn into something like kind of like a Jackson Powers Johnson, like somebody like that. And obviously that's
he started off at D tackle too.
Yeah, I remember that. And yeah, I like it, but I'm not in love with it. I'll put it like that. Like I think it'll be a decent class, but it's not one that I'm in love with.
I think there's a good bunch of centers. I think it's about 8 to 10 of them, but they all kind of fit right around the same range. Late day 2 at best, definitely day 3s. And I only maybe Slaughter may go day 2, but the rest of them, they almost all day 3s. And what do you really expect with us needing a starter? What do you really expect out of a day 3 guy?
Right.
So
exactly.
You got to figure it out soon. Got to figure it out soon. I did see the Ravens are starting to sell visiting like packages to go places, and they did have the Dallas one up there for like if you want to like pay your deposit. So it ain't, I don't think it's looking good for us in Brazil. I don't think it's looking good for us. So
oh, man.
We'll see. But I appreciate y'all, man. This is the center episode of Draft Junkies with a little bit of Zay Flowers talk on the end, man. Like the video, subscribe if you've not done so. Hit the bell so you know about the rest of this stuff drops. Go over to the other channel, more Sip2Tally, and subscribe over there as well. Go to Deep Cover as well. This is your Deep Cover podcast for the week. So just so you know that it is what it is. And we'll be back next week with another episode. So let me ask you this. How keen would you be on doing like a top 10 for different groups? Is that something that wouldn't add to your plate?
What do you mean?
Like the closer we get to the draft, like do a top 10 wide receivers list or like a top 10 offensive lineman list.
Yeah, I mean we could do that. And just go through the list.
Yeah, but closer, like so the draft is what? The draft is about a month away.
I mean, we're gonna blink and it's gonna be here.
Yeah, so let's. In fact,
Was
let's
talk.
Yeah, no, it's exactly a month from today. A month from tomorrow. So that would be
April 26th.
Tomorrow be the 26th. So 25th, 26th, somewhere up in there. Matter of fact, let me look it up. Google free. NFL draft. April 23rd through 25th.
Okay.
April 23rd through 25th. So
about 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we could do that
in Pittsburgh. So we'll start. So we'll start with our top 10 list next week, and we'll figure out what position group we'll do that offline.
All right. Sounds good.
Appreciate y'all, and See y'all soon. And people that's on Twitter, come to YouTube and hit that follow button and join the fam. Because again, only reason these are on X because YouTube be tripping. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Oh, hey, y'all salute Chris for his birthday tomorrow. I ain't see a lot of them earlier, but I was having technical issues. So Chris's birthday tomorrow. Cash apps, cash, and other things pictures. Are available. Hey, titty pictures, whatever you want to see in it. Hey, it's open. DM's open.